Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're diving into a place that is just so extreme, so unbelievably silent and isolated that even right now, in our modern age of high-tech satellites and advanced AI, we actually know less about it than we do the surface of Mars. Crazy, right? I'm talking, of course, about Antarctica. And as we're going to see in today's Explainer, this continent is essentially the ultimate locked world. It's literally a frozen archive just packed with secrets that span millions of years. So, let's unlock it, shall we? Now, what if Antarctica isn't just a frozen wasteland? I mean, when most of us picture it, we just see this endless, empty, white desert. But what if, instead, it's actually a hidden, ancient world? One that's holding answers that could literally rewrite Earth's entire history. Because here's the thing. Every single time we drill a little deeper or our satellites scan just a bit further, we aren't just finding more ice. We're finding some absolutely profound mysteries. Which brings us to our first section, the surface illusion, because we are definitely dealing with a hidden world here. Okay, so we all know the baseline facts, right? It's minus 80 degrees Celsius, it's this endless desert of white, but honestly, that is just an illusion. Beneath that seemingly flat sheet of ice lies this incredibly complex hidden topography. We are talking about valleys that are actually deeper than the Grand Canyon, like the Bentley subglacial trench, and mountains that stand taller than the Alps. All just sitting there, completely untouched, waiting in the pitch black. Moving on to Section 2, the hidden lakes. And trust me, we are talking about massive amounts of isolated water. So when satellites finally started mapping the continent in super high detail, they didn't just hit solid rock beneath all that ice. They found these wild anomalies, vast underground cavities and massive, massive bodies of liquid water. 4 kilometers. That is the sheer thickness of the ice sitting right on top of Lake Vostok. 4 kilometers. To put that into perspective, imagine a body of water the size of Lake Ontario, but it's been completely sealed off from the sun and our atmosphere for up to 15 million years. And yet somehow it is still liquid. It's just wild to think about. Now, in astrobiology, there's basically a golden rule. Where there is water, there's the possibility of life. So realizing that these massive lakes actually existed beneath kilometers of solid ice, that caused an absolute paradigm shift for scientists. It set up this thrilling and honestly kind of terrifying implication. Could something actually be living down there, completely submerged in that crushing darkness? Let's look at Section 3, Life in the Dark. This is all about extreme survival. To actually find out what was going on down there, researchers drilled straight through the ice into these totally isolated environments. And, well, they expected to maybe find some ancient air bubbles or something, but instead, they found the impossible. They literally found thriving microbial life forms. These are extremophiles, and they are surviving in a place where life simply shouldn't exist. Instead of relying on sunlight like normal, they're down there eating rock minerals. They've perfectly adapted to total darkness, extreme cold, and complete isolation. It was a real game changer that completely rewrote everything we thought we knew about the limits of life on Earth. And think about what this means. It changes the bigger picture entirely. If life can somehow survive in literally the most extreme, isolated environment on our own planet, where else could it be hiding? Could there be extremophiles swimming around right now in the subsurface oceans of Jupiter's moon Europa? It's a huge question. Suddenly, Antarctica isn't just a frozen continent. It's this living laboratory that helps us understand the possibility of life across the entire universe. Which leads us to Section 4, Earth's frozen time capsule. It's essentially an archive perfectly preserved in the ice. Okay, so the water below is clearly fascinating, but the ice itself, it is equally incredible. See, Antarctica's ice is basically compressed time. It's this giant physical archive, stretching back an astonishing 800,000 years. And trapped right there within these layers of ice, we have bubbles of ancient air, volcanic ash from long-forgotten eruptions, pristine climate records, and even dust from eras that are long gone. Every single layer acts like a literal page in Earth's history book, just sitting there, waiting for us to read it. But reading that history book, well, it actually reveals some pretty unsettling anomalies. The ice shows undeniable evidence of sudden, rapid climate shifts. We're talking dramatic temperature spikes that happened way faster than natural orbital cycles can even explain. It really proves that our planet's climate is just highly unstable and frankly capable of turning on a dime. All right, Section 5, Geological Ghosts and Anomalies. Let's look at what else is hiding down there. If we look beyond just the climate records, we actually find massive physical structures hidden right beneath the surface. Take the Gamburtsev mountain range, for example. This is basically a ghost mountain system that's roughly the size of the European Alps, but it's preserved entirely beneath the ice shield. Think about that. It has literally never been seen by human eyes. There's no wind erosion, no visible peaks. It completely defies logic how it even formed, let alone how it's remained so perfectly preserved under kilometers of that crushing icy weight. And, the mystery only deepens when you look at the raw data. In certain areas, our satellite signals actually distort. The topographical maps show these regions that appear strangely uniform, like almost way too smooth for natural terrain. Now, scientists and skeptics fiercely debate what this means. Some folks attribute it to simple data processing errors or maybe subglacial water flow, while others, they suggest the ice might be hiding structures we just simply don't understand yet. But whatever the actual cause is, those data anomalies are very, very real. To really understand these anomalies, we have to take a look back in time, because Antarctica hasn't always been this giant freezer. Actually, it was once part of the massive Gondwana supercontinent, and it boasted a pretty warm climate, one that was fully capable of supporting dense forests and, yes, roaming dinosaurs. It only slowly froze over millions of years into the giant ice shield we see today. I mean, just imagine a T-Rex trying to navigate modern Antarctica. Yeah, probably not a great time for him. And that brings us to Section 6, the unsolved continent, a truly dynamic system. So, bringing this all back to the present day, the main thing we have to realize is that Antarctica is definitely not some empty void. It is a highly active, living system. The ice sheets are constantly moving. These hidden lakes are draining and refilling. It holds so many enduring mysteries. Ancient history locked tightly in the ice, wild ecosystems thriving in pitch darkness, and totally unexplored geological ghosts. Every single time we pull up a new drill core, it doesn't give us final answers. It really just leaves us with even more profound questions. Which honestly leaves us with this one super powerful thought. We know for a fact from the geological record that Antarctica completely transformed from a lush, warm forest into a frozen wasteland. So, if this sleeping giant can change once, could it change again? And if it does undergo another massive transformation, what exactly will that mean for the future of our entire planet? Food for thought, right? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.